Hi there, I'm Justin Barrett. I'm president of Blueprint 1543. I'm a psychological scientist and former university professor. Thanks for joining me here today to talk about gratitude. About a week ago, maybe two, I was helping out my wife with her line dance class at the local community college, and one of the students in the class had an alarm go off on his phone, and he explained to us this was his gratitude alarm, that he needed to, when this alarm went off, say something he was grateful for and ask people around him what they were grateful for. So he kind of put us on the spot. It was kind of cute and funny and all of that. And I found it encouraging because it told me that word has gotten out about how important gratitude is. And there really is this great body of scientific research, thanks to people like Bob Emmons and Mike McCullough and Charlotte Whitfleet, among many others, who have really done the hard work of establishing that being grateful and exercising gratitude, including these things like so-called gratitude interventions, where you set an alarm to tell you, okay, now's your time to think of something that you're grateful for. These activities have been experimentally shown to make us happier, to make us feel better about life, to make us more optimistic and hopeful, and really just to do better all the way around. One of the sort of old studies in this area was by Bob Emmons, where he came up with this intervention where he asked students, this was at University of California, Davis, I believe, where he was a faculty member, where they just spent a few minutes, 10 minutes or so each week, writing down things that they were grateful for from the previous week. That was sort of the intervention condition. There was a control condition in which they just wrote down for the same amount of time, things that had happened that week. And then after 10 weeks, he compared things like which group was happier, which group had visited the health center more, who was just, sort of doing better health-wise, mental health-wise, physical health-wise, doing, feeling like class is going well, showing up. All of these different types of things have been looked at using paradigms like this. What Emmons found was, yeah, people did better if they were in the gratitude intervention, even though it was just a few minutes each week, writing down what they were grateful for. Subsequent research has really dug into what are these different dimensions of gratitude? What is it exactly? What holds together? And it's still ongoing. But the general idea is that gratitude is kind of an emotional response, an attitude toward something that you feel like you have received that maybe you didn't earn, okay? Or that wasn't necessarily an expectation that you got this thing. So that can be for things like, wow, it's a beautiful sunny day. Well, I didn't do anything to earn the beautiful sunny day. It's not owed to me by anybody. So I can be grateful for it. I'm grateful I get to do the kind of job that I get to do. Nobody owes it to me that I get to do this job. The world isn't such that it's sort of, an obligation of the world's to give me this job, so I can be grateful for it. One of the ongoing bits of research and sort of that theorists wonder about too is how much gratitude is actually even more positively impactful when it is aimed at someone else, the someone that we are grateful to. That's ongoing research, but the most natural way that humans do express gratitude is gratitude to each other. I'm grateful to or thankful to, say, my wife for something she's done for me, or my kids, or my coworkers, or whomever. I can be grateful to, I don't know, my country or my government if they do something really good or nice. I guess it could happen. I think at our core, and most commonly, we think about gratitude to God, because so many things in our life are good gifts from God. The research from the psychology is showing that expressing that gratitude, living into that gratitude, is good for us, but it's also good for other people around us. Gratitude is one of these interesting kind of emotions or states, or whatever you want to call it, that's kind of contagious. So if I express gratitude to other people for something maybe they've done for me, maybe it's just an employee of mine who is bringing really good work. The company pays them for the work, but maybe they're kind of going above and beyond, and I'm grateful and I express that gratitude. Well, expressing gratitude, being the recipient of gratitude, has been shown to actually increase people then going and behaving better towards other people and expressing that gratitude to other people. Gratitude breeds gratitude, as well as these positive sort of mental and physical health kinds of consequences. So it turns out exercising gratitude is a really great thing for us. And so it's wonderful that in many cultures we set aside at least one day a year to express that gratitude in, for instance, Thanksgiving. And so it's a great time to keep that gratitude central and make it an exercise. Use that time to think about those types of things you're grateful for and to share those with other people, especially when you're sharing that gratitude to those other people. Yes, express thanks to God. That's what the holiday was actually set up for in the United States, was as a remembrance for the country to be grateful to God every year. But also we can be grateful to each other for what each other who are gathered around the Thanksgiving table mean to us, what they've done for us, how they've enriched our lives. You don't have to, worry that you're going to run out of things to be grateful for. Because if you think enough about it, there's plenty. All of us, even in our darkest times, there's something that we can be grateful for with a little bit of creativity. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of creativity. And my wife and I sort of tongue-in-cheek initially, but then we started having a whole lot of fun with writing down just things that we are grateful to each other for. And not all of them are very serious. They're things, like, thank you for not, okay, this is gross, but not launching snot rockets in the house, for instance. You can be grateful for that. Thankful for not scratching behind your ear with your foot. You can see where some of these are inspired by. But we started having fun with this as ways of expressing gratitude towards each other and continuing to do it, and have an eye out there for all of the things, big and little, silly and serious, that we can be grateful for in this life, because it's good for us and it's good for each other to be expressing that gratitude. Now, as somebody who works in the sciences, I find that not only is it kind of cool that the scientific research around gratitude is showing how positive it can be for us, but I am grateful all the time that I get to work in this area of inquiry that I realize is kind of a privilege. It's, I don't work in a coal mine. I don't have to work hard to, farm food, which is tough work. I'm not working on a building site and doing backbreaking kinds of things. I have a pretty privileged existence where I get to exercise my mind around topics that I'm curious about, and I get to be part of discoveries, not all by myself, but as part of a team. And I'm really grateful for that. And I think as a scientist and as a thinker, having this attitude of gratitude around what I do then can help invigorate and motivate what I'm doing. And it keeps me a little bit humble about it, because it helps me identify what are the contributions that institutions, that other people, that colleagues, that my human subjects, if I'm doing human subjects research, have contributed to the research process, to the scholarly process, that I can be grateful for those types of things. Gratitude is a great antidote against selfishness, pride, entitlement, right? I mean, it's easy for some people to be entitled. It's easy for all of us at moments to feel very entitled. But if you start getting into practices of gratitude, it undermines that entitlement kind of mentality. What are some practical things we can do? There are lots of examples online. There are some really simple ones. One of those is to take a gratitude journal. So if you're the type of person who journals or, writes a diary, just, once a week, but even better, once a day, write down a few things that you're grateful for. If you are grateful to a particular person, make an effort, maybe once a week, to actually express that gratitude to someone. Set that timer to remind you once a day, I need to say something out loud to somebody else that I'm grateful for something, even if it's just my dog or cat or goldfish, whatever. Express that gratitude. There are lots of simple things we can do to nudge us in that direction of gratitude. And then the next level is let that start leaking out all over the place. Don't only do it in those set ritualized kinds of ways. Those are good disciplines to get us going down the right path. But really, we want to get to the point of being people who just live gratefully, that are always on the lookout of things that we're grateful for, that easily thank each other for, what you did for me the other day, that meant a lot to me and I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Even for those little things. See if it doesn't improve your well-being, make your outlook on life more positive, strengthen your relationship with others, and really help them start becoming more grateful people too. One thing in my house I've made a practice of doing around Thanksgiving is two things at Thanksgiving that we do to try to exercise gratitude. One is that I customarily read out loud to the table one of the Thanksgiving addresses, either the first one in our nation's history by George Washington, or Abraham Lincoln's when he made Thanksgiving a federal holiday. Those are both really excellent addresses that are worth reflecting on. I really liked Washington's, especially when we were celebrating Thanksgiving living in the United Kingdom, because he has some choice words about our liberation from the oppressive British. So that was really fun to share with my British friends. But that's one thing that we do. And then, of course, the other thing that I know is much more common is to have everyone share something that they're grateful for before they can have dessert. So that there's some incentive to at least give it a try. So those are a couple of just little practical things that I've tried that seem to work in my house. See if they work for you too. So that's my encouragement around this Thanksgiving season. Let's do our best to exercise an attitude of gratitude and start making that part of our life. It's good for you. It's good for those around you. And those claims are science-backed. Thanks for joining me. I'm Justin Barrett from Blueprint 1543. Let me know if there are other things you'd like me to talk about. Like, subscribe, and keep watching. Thanks.